Hey guys, welcome, and we need to have a discussion about tier lists. You may have seen some recent tier lists this past month since the game's release, and nearly all of these tier lists are traps. And before you fall into one, you need to ask yourself why you are playing this game. Obviously it's to have fun, but we all have fun in different ways. Some people find enjoyment in simply leveling up their favorite characters, and others enjoy farming as efficiently as possible. Others enjoy a challenge. Whatever it is, answer that question for yourself before you follow any tier list. So here's the thing that you should know about tier lists. A tier list was made by just some dude, some random guy who also happens to be playing the game. Or maybe a group of random dudes that thought the same thing. But that is the thing. It's just their own thoughts through their own experiences playing the game. Now, perhaps they are veteran players and they have a lot of experience playing the game. Sure, that may have some merit. However, they're playing the game in a way in which they enjoy the most, using a team composition that they like. I would argue that the discovery of that team comp and playstyle is what makes this game so much fun. But like I said before, people have fun in different ways. And if following a tier list is how you have fun, then by all means, please follow it. You see, tier lists also need context. Many of the tier lists floating around are tier lists made for people that can afford to spend thousands of dollars on this game because it's a DPS tier list where the characters are fully maxed out. Max level, constellations, and the perfect weapon setup. And for most of us playing the game, that's simply just not feasible. When you see a tier list, you need to ask yourself what their tier list is ranking. Here's my tier list. I think Amber and Beidou are totally S tier. Those two characters, I love their designs. And also because Amber tries her best, and because Beidou is a freaking pirate. That's my own personal waifu tier list. Okay, but on a more serious note, a tier list that ranks characters based on their flexibility of being a support, main DPS, and access would be much better than the current tier list currently floating around. In fact, I found a tier list that does exactly that. It's a tier list over on the Keiching mains Discord, and I'll link their Google Doc in the description of this video. They are specifically making a free-to-play C0 tier list that has a ton of thought put into it. So if you are considering following a tier list, I would say make this one the one. Keep a close look on this one. It's by no means perfect yet, but in my opinion, it's one of the best ones currently out there. Alright, here's the thing. Genshin Impact is really easy. It's a super easy game. It's not difficult at all. So there's not a real reason to roll on things just because they're high up on a tier list. You can clear all the content in this game using free-to-play units. Shout out to the free-to-play YouTubers out there like Enviosity. The only real difficult content in this game right now is the Spiral Abyss, and there are videos of Amber clearing floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss. That's right, that character that everyone is putting down in D tier, she's the one clearing floor 12, and she's completely free. Spiral Abyss is also puzzle-like because it requires the right combination of elements to counter the specific enemy spawns. The point is that I'm trying to make is that it's entirely possible to clear Spiral Abyss without needing supposedly S tier characters, as long as we distribute our resources correctly and utilize the game mechanics efficiently. Okay, and here's another thing. Tier lists just make you feel bad when you don't pull a character that's S tier. That's why I don't like following them. Why follow them when they just make you feel bad? You know, you just get this immense feeling of regret welling up inside you because you spent money but got absolutely nothing you wanted. And if you're aiming for a 5-star, you're gonna be feeling that a whole lot. So I like to keep my expectations in check, and if I happen to roll a 5-star, then I'll consider it a nice surprise and enjoy the giant serving of dopamine that goes straight to my head. So what I like to do is instead work with what I got and think about how I can increase a character's potential with a well thought out team comp and build and show everyone that they're not actually in C tier. And you know what makes things even worse? It's when the really big YouTubers and streamers are out here spending thousands of dollars to roll for a 5-star. It makes you want to pull for those 5 stars as well. It looks like a ton of fun to do so, and to be honest, it is a lot of fun to pull for characters. But here's the thing. they probably make up that money the next day because we're all watching them do it. So you and I don't really have that luxury to spend thousands of dollars on this game. Think about it this way, if you've already spent more than $60 on Genshin, you've already paid the price of a AAA game, something like Cyberpunk. So you gotta ask yourself, is Genshin Impact worth more than a AAA game to you? Because if this was a typical AAA game, they'd make these characters microtransactions, but without the 0.6% RNG attached to it. You could probably buy Klee or Diluc or Jean for like 10 or 5 bucks. But now, as you can clearly see from all these big streamers and YouTubers, it's gonna cost you a boatload. Yeah, and let's not even get into max constellations. So yeah, if you're new to gacha, guys, you need to keep your spending in check. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to manage your own finances and expenses, but you need to know that buying Primogems for wishes gets incredibly expensive. Even more so when you're trying to roll for 5-star characters, because here's how the system works. Let's first just assume that you won't get lucky with the 0.6 chance of rolling the 5-star. There's a pity system in place that will guarantee you a 5-star after 90 pulls. This system works for both the specialized character banners and the standard banner. You won't be able to control your 5-star from the standard banner, so you'll just have to be happy with whatever you get. The average cost of one wish or pull, however you want to think about it, is $2 USD. So it costs $180 to get a 5-star from the standard banner, and it might not even be the one that you want. Then when it comes to the specialized character banner, it's only a 50% chance to get the featured character. So it could end up costing you $360 to finally get the character that you want. Now this pity system that I've explained it is in its simplest terms. It actually does go a little bit more in depth, but I'm not gonna go much more into it in this video. So evaluate those numbers for yourself, guys. Is it really worth it? Okay, so I've spent a lot of time now bashing tier lists and the characters that are S tier on these tier lists. But that doesn't mean that I hate these characters and that I hate tier lists, okay? I just don't like the fact that people are touting them as fact and shoving a meta into everyone's faces. Tier lists can actually be a really fun topic to open up discussion and debate. That's why in other games, so many people love comparing and contrasting other people's tier lists. But that's why we can't go around sharing just one guy's tier list as fact. We should all make our own and give solid reasoning and explanations as to why we rank characters the way we do. I think I've already mentioned this, but I'd rather follow a tier list that puts more thought into ranking a character's flexibility and ease of access. Basically a free-to-play or low-spending tier list. In that tier list, most 5-stars would not be an S tier because they're practically all pipe dreams. I'd dock them a couple points because their ease of access is too low. But then I'd put someone like Xiangling up in S tier because she's free and she could play a main DPS role or a support role. One of her best weapons as a DPS can also be forged, so it's an easy refine for free-to-play players. Look at that, I've already started making a tier list of my own, so who knows, maybe I'll make one of these days and share it with you guys and see what you guys think. Because again, you know, I would just make these tier lists just so that we can open up a discussion about these characters. So anyway guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to hate on tier lists. So what's the message that I'm trying to get across here? I want you to forget the meta that people are trying to force down your throat. You can make any character good if you give them a good team composition. All of the content in this game is clearable with free-to-play units. Maxing out 4-star characters is much more feasible for us free-to-play or low-spending players. Pull for characters that you like, have fun rolling, but keep your spending in check. Except that big YouTubers and streamers have the luxury to spend thousands of dollars on this game. Making tier lists is fun and can be a good way to open up discussion, and I'm not saying to completely denounce the use of tier lists, but always consider how they are being ranked in them. As of the recording of this video, a lot of the tier lists have been getting more refined and are starting to rank characters as I've outlined in this video, based off their ability to support and main DPS and their ease of access. So thumbs up to that. But at the start of Genshin's release, the amount of tier lists that were saturating the internet was absolutely obscene. And I wanted to address that specifically. It's a pattern that you'll often see when new games come out. So I hope you consider the thoughts that I've laid out in this video into future consideration when it comes to tier lists. And tier lists not just in Genshin Impact. And lastly, and most importantly, Remember that tier lists are just someone else's opinion. Use it to make informed decisions, but don't let it control how you enjoy the game. Alright guys, thank you. Leave me a like if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing to the channel. See ya.